So I thought I would do a quick video each day to explain the style of questions as they're different from last week. It's a shame that White Rose are now charging for their worksheets, but I think this will be easier for you anyway because you'll have me explaining each day. Now the first type of question is where we're doing the bar model. So this whole number here is at the top, 14, and the reason that the 14 is at the top is because you can see here it's a takeaway. Now remember, when we take away, it is breaking a whole number. When we add, we are putting two parts or more parts back together to create the whole. So I'm going to write that down to remind you. I'm going to put it over here in red. So when we add, we are putting parts together like our part whole model. And when we take away or subtract, we are breaking a whole number. So the whole number always goes at the beginning of the subtraction sign, breaking a whole number. So we know that the 14, let me get it on black for you. Oh golly, come on. We know that the 14 is going to go into this box here. So our focus is to use our number bonds to 10 to help us with addition and subtraction, so that eventually you will see what those numbers are like and you won't have to count backwards. Now counting backwards does work and we can do it that way, but as you go up through school you're going to need to be able to do your subtractions and your additions very, very quickly so that you can solve bigger problems. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to add another bar to the bottom. So if you're using paper, draw your bar out just like this, and then I want you to count these 1, 2, 3. Oh, hang on. Oh gosh. Let me, sorry, undo that. Rub these out and I'll do a little line through them. Oh, it doesn't want to work. There we go. And I'll highlight them. That will make it easier so it doesn't look like I'm doing numbers on them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we need to think about our relationship with the number 14 and the number 10. So that's our bar underneath. We know that 14 is made up of 10 and 4, don't we? That is not what we're asked to do though. We're not asked to take 10 away from 14, but we are asked if we can take 9 away from 14. Now we know that 9 is 1 less than 10, so I'm going to write that down here to remind myself that 9, and this is why it's important that we remember that our STEM sentences from class, 9 is 1 less than 10. So if we're asked to take 9 away from 14, we know that we're taking 1 less away than 10. So if we're taking away 1 less than 10, this is what our bars look like. 9, and what's 1 more than 4? 5 is 1 more than 4. So we know that 14 take away 9 is the number 5, okay? So although it seems a bit long-winded, and I know that parents watching this will think, gosh, that's a very tricky way to do it. Why don't we just start at 14 and count backwards 9, or start at 9 and count up till we get to 14? But understanding how these numbers work like this will help your children to be able to solve much more complex addition and subtraction questions as they go up through school, meaning that those numbers aren't a barrier to their learning. So the understanding of what 10 looks like and how it's relative to the other numbers will really, really help your child. So let's go for the next one. Yeah, doesn't want to work. There we go. So the next type of question you might get, you've got below on the blog, is one of these. Tick the calculation that matches the tens frames and write the answer. So you can see we've got 2 tens frames here. This tens frame is full, so we know that Dear me, the computer's playing up today. We know that that is definitely 10 in there. And I can see this tens frame here. And because I know my number bonds to 10 and I can see that these two boxes are empty, I know that that's 8. Because I know that 8 and 2 make 10. So that should be something easy for you to do. You can also see that you've got 5 up here and 3 down here. And we know that 5 and 3 make 8 also. So the question is which of these here, which of these is what is being represented here? So we know it's definitely 18 and it's a subtraction. And we can see it's a subtraction because they've crossed out the counters. Is it 18 take away 7, 18 take away 9, or 18 take away 1? Again, we could just count how many counters they've crossed out, but I want you to really focus on your understanding of 10. So we're going to draw 18 as a whole, because remember, a subtraction, let's go back page, let's go back to this one. Remember down here we said when we take away, we are breaking a whole number and we're breaking it into parts. So let's go back here. So it's definitely a subtraction. So we're going to do 18 and we're going to do it into these parts. We've got 10 as a part and 8 as a part. That's the easiest way that we know 18, isn't it? Now, we can see that we've got 8 and 1 more here. And we can also see here we've got 10, 1 less. 1 less than 10 is, let's have a look, write it in our STEM sentence. 1 less than 10 is 9. And also 1 more than 8 is 9. Sorry about my handwriting there, it's a bit tricky. 1 more than 8 is 9. So we know that we've got 9 here and we've got 9 here. So which one is it? Is it 18 take away 7, 18 take away 9, or 18 take away 1? Well, we've got 8 and 1 more. 8 and 1 more is 9, so it's 18 take away 9. And I know that because I know my understanding of 10, how it's broken up. And if this is 1 less, then this side must be 1 more. So 1 less than 10 is 9, 1 more than 8 is 9. Okay, so 9 and 9 make 18 also. Okay, so we could even write the full number sentence there. 18 take away 9 equals 9. Right, third style of question that you might have. Let's get rid of the menu at the side. So it says Amy picked 17 flowers and they've started on the number line at 17. That's great. She gave 8 to her mum. So if she's giving away, we know it's a subtraction. Because it's asking how many are left. So how many is she left with once she's given some away? So on this question, they're using a number line. And what they're doing is they know that 17 is easily broken into 10 and 7 more. Okay, so the whole is 17 and the two parts are 10 and 7. So what they've done is they've done what they know, taken away 7 so that they know they get to 10. You don't need to count back from 17 to 10 because you know what 17 is made up of. But they also know that 8 is 7 add 1. So they know that they've got to take away 1 more. Okay, so if they're doing 7 and they've got to do 1 more, that's 8. We also know that 10, if this is going to be 1 more, this has got to be 1 less. So 1 less than 10 is 9. Okay, so it seems a bit tricky at first, but as I say, the understanding of how 10 is made up and how all the numbers inside 10 are made up makes it much easier to do the working out quicker later on in school. The final type of question you might have for your fluency is one like this. There are challenges at the bottom of the blog. If you're struggling with the challenges, don't worry, your mummies and daddies can help you, but I just want you to make sure that you're explaining how you know because of what you know about 10. Let's read this one. Write a calculation to match the statement below. There were 16 children in a park. Then 8 children went home. So we know that there are 16 to begin with, and we are taking away 8. Again, I could just count back, couldn't I? but I want to see your understanding of the number 10. So 16 as our whole number. We're going to start on the number line 16. You can draw out a number line in your book. It doesn't have to be really straight, because I know some of you haven't got rulers. I didn't put them in the learning packs, didn't I? I probably should have. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to recognise that 16 is made up of 6 and 10. Or 10 and 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back 6 to 10. So I've taken away 6. Okay, it's not asking me to take away 6 though, is it? It's asking me to take away 8. So I need to know the difference between 6 and 8. And I can see here it's 2 jumps on my number line, isn't it? 6 add 1 add 2 is 8. So I actually need to add 2 more to my 6 to get 8 as a part. So if I'm adding 2 parts, that 2 to make that part bigger, I need to take away 2 from 10. And because I know my bonds so well, I know that 2 and 8 go together to make 16. So a bit like our number blocks where they practice their doubles, 16 is actually double 8, so we can draw it, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we do the other side, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the number block 16 would be double 8. But again, I want you to practice your understanding of the numbers within 10. So there's our answer. 16 take away 8. It's also 8. So have a go at the questions below. They are different questions, but the same kind of style as the ones that we've just practiced together. And let me know how you get on. And then if you want to, have a go at the challenges. It'd be really good for you to have a go at the challenges.